Mr. Registrar, begin my Episcopal Visitation.
Nicholas B.
Yeah.
Judith Bevan.
Yes.
David Bolton. Paul Boyle.
Yes.
Lorna Bradley. Stephen Brett.
Yes.
Jennifer Britton.
I want you to thank all of you. Rydw i am diolch I pob un ohonoch am fod yma heno ac I bod gyda fi. It's important that you're here with me this evening on this, the first Episcopal visitation to the diocese since my election. During the past year, I have been greatly encouraged by the commitment of so many people towards the life and ministry of the Diocese of St. David's. It is encouraging in so many ways, particularly in the light of the difficulties we are facing on the diocesan level and as a province. These are indeed troublesome days. However, we are not beyond hope. And the promises of Jesus Christ are just as relevant and have the same implications for us as it had for our predecessors as bishops and you as congregants. I want to thank all local ministry area wardens and church community wardens. Diolch I pob un ohonoch I o gwaelod calon am eich cyfraniad a'ch cefnogaeth, i'ch eglwysi, i'r esgobaeth ac I fi. I want to thank you for your diligence and readiness to serve the church in your respective areas. That same thanks is extended to the chairpersons of your local ministry areas, your treasurers and your church committee treasurers, all working very hard, following new regulations and new ways, but doing so willingly, lovingly, and for the purposes of God. All of you are ensuring that the governance of our churches are working effectively, which has implications not only to your local ministry area, but also to archdeaconries and the diocese as a whole. I'm very happy to see the lay readers here tonight who have made the effort to be here. The contribution of lay readers and worship leaders throughout the diocese is making a tremendous difference in ensuring that services and Christian teaching is shared within the context of occasional services. And worship is being prepared to a very high standard. And for that, I recognize a great deal of time and effort is given. I have given directive that worship leaders can now use homilies prepared to reflect Sunday readings. These are in Welsh and in English and have been prescribed by me for your use. Nothing else but what's sent out. And I want to thank the Reverend Canon Rhiannon Johnson and the Reverend Beth Davis for providing these reflections, and you can find them on our diocesan website. I'd also like to pay tribute to those who hold my license of permission to officiate, retired clergy. The support you give to your stipendiary colleagues is greatly appreciated by them and me. Rwy'n ddiffiant ddiolchgar I rai ohonoch chi sydd wedi ymddeol ac i'n dal I gwynyddu yn eich ardaloedd wenedigaethol a trwy'r esgobaeth yn gyfan gwbl. Your ministry is greatly valued. Your experience is appreciated. and you for yourselves are cherished. And I know that you go out of your way to help the churches where you live. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi gyd. My thanks to our Diocesan Registrar, Mr. Arwen Davies, for compiling all the information required for tonight's visitation. And there's a tremendous amount of work involved in getting these documents prepared for this evening. Felly, Arwen, diolch yn fawr iawn. I am unable to do what I do without the support of my senior team, the Dean, the Very Reverend Sarah Rowland Jones, the Archdeacons of St David, Paul McNess, of Ceredigion, Eileen Davies of Carmarthen, Matthew Hill, and of course the missionary Archdeacon Mones Farah. I want to thank the Diocesan Board of Finance staff. I am most fortunate of having such a team as this, who act as my scaffold as my ministry progresses and builds in the diocese. Now to you, the stipendiary clergy. I want you to be aware, I've said it at the Chrism Mass, and I'm saying it here again, how much I value and cherish your contribution in ministry. It is not easy, with all the weighty responsibilities which you bear, to have the kind of ministry that you want, or the ministry which is expected of you. But still you do your best. You work for the love of Christ, to the people of Christ, and in the name of Christ. I am mindful that there is a blind expectation, and it's laid upon you all. And I do not expect any of you to do more than your strength allows, or your well-being is stretched. You are no good to me, to your families, to your congregations, or to yourselves, unless you look after yourselves. However, ministry is also in contradiction sacrificial. And sacrifice means giving of our all. We were reminded at last Saturday's ordination service, at which we were proud and privileged to preside, what the role of being a cleric is all about. Together, let us ensure that we do meet their expectations, your expectations, and the episcopacy's expectations. And the only way that we can truly do this is to have a strong prayer life. And that's why I am giving a directive to all local ministry area clergy. You two are to meet at least once a week to pray together. You have to do this. It's for your own good and the good of your people and to the glorification of God, because in prayer there is much power. Ac os i ni moyn gweld llwyddiant yn ein gweinidogaeth ni, mae rhaid i ni fod yn barod I weddio ac I weddio yn dyfal. It is a realistic expectation of the ordained clergy to do this. What did we hear Jesus say this evening about the kingdom of God? What is it like, and to what can we compare it? The first was to a mustard seed, growing and growing out of control. And in that out of controlness, everything was drawn to it. And what is it like? Yeast in bread that gives it life, that makes it the bread on which all people can feed. If we want to see the kingdom of God in us, so that it can affect the parishes, the churches, the communities in which we work, then the kingdom of God must be compared to prayer. Mae rhaid cymharu fe â gweddi. Os mae bobl yn mynd I gweld chi'n gweddio, maen nhw'n moyn gweddio. Os maen nhw'n gweld effaith gweddi arno chi, maen nhw'n mynd I gweld effaith gweddi trwy'r ysbryd glân yn cynyddu ynddyn twy. Then there's self-awareness. To ask yourselves, who are we? What are we about? You know, the thing is, a lot of people say, oh, the clergy, and especially in modern theology, there's nothing different about the ordained clergy. That's rubbish. You have been ordained for a specific purpose, and you must fulfill that purpose to the glorification of God. That is priestly self-awareness. Self-discipline. This is the hardest thing for me to train in myself. I can't eat a bar of chocolate without finishing it. Would that I were committed to the stewardship of the church for which I am responsible. I am being self-critical. You must be self-critical, because in that self-criticism we will find where we need to build upon the discipline of just being a Christian before we begin being priests. A gweithio gyda'n gilydd. Gone are the days of ministers being isolated islands in their own little fiefdoms. It's like tug-of-war. We've got to pull together. Tynnu gyda'n gilydd. Gyda'n holl egni a nerth I sicrhau bod ni'n mynd yn y cyfeiriad iawn. A'r cyfeiriad yw Iesu Grist. Felly, trwy gweddi gyda'ch gilydd, I chi'n mynd I ystyried pwysigrwydd gweithio gyda'ch gilydd. By praying together, you're going to realize the importance of working together. When I was ordained years ago, I'm not ashamed to say it, 37 years ago when I was ordained, there were 120 stipendiary clergy in this diocese. Now there are 77. I don't have to tell you what that implication means, especially when people come knocking on my door and saying, send me a priest, when I haven't got any to send. So in working together, in praying together, people are going to see a real example of priesthood and will want to be a part of the ministry of God through your example. That's how I'm here, because I was encouraged and I grew through the ministry and witness of others. Then there's taking care of yourselves. Mae e'n bwysig bod chi'n gofalu am eich hunain. Cymerwch gofal. Cymerwch hoi. Cymerwch gwyliau. Cymerwch y dyddiau sydd yn dod ato chi mwyn I chi fod yn ffres ar gyfer y brwydr sydd o'ch blaen. I will not accept that you are too busy to take holidays or days off. That is finished. You are no good to anybody, least of all your families, if you are burnt out. This taking care of yourselves will enable you to take care of others. And I want you to take that very seriously, because this comes to my seventh point. It helps you understand your ministry, your commitment to God, and your responsibility. Opening our hearts to God allows the Spirit of God to come amongst us. The past few months have been very difficult for the church in Wales. And because it's been difficult for the church in Wales, it's been difficult for you. For we are part of that witnessing body. The time has come when we must put aside the past and to learn from it rather than to be despondent because of it. The past is the past. We are now in the here and now. And Jesus Christ is commissioning each and every one of us here tonight to consider our calling, our contribution, and our commitment. If we want to see the church in Wales grow, then we've got to be prepared to work for that growth. And what about tomorrow? You see, you're very lucky in me. I'm not a bishop that sees the cup half empty. I see the cup as half full. I'm filling by the moment because of you. You have been called by God to make a difference. And my job as an optimistic bishop is to make it clear to you that that is the case. I don't want any of you to be daunted, fed up, overwhelmed. I want you to be full of the Spirit of the living God, so that we can go out into the streets and into the towns, into our villages and into our farms, to the seashore and to the mountain tops, and proclaim Jesus Christ is Lord, today, tomorrow, and forever. The visitation is ended.